left guard, that seems to be like the main issue right now. It's very up in the air, in my opinion. When you look at Jackson Carman, I feel like he has potential, but I don't know if we should be ready enough to give him the starting job yet. I think it's very, very risky. You do not want to have a four good offensive linemen and one question mark offensive lineman. I think the safe decision, we're bringing back Quentin Spain, maybe to a 1-year deal, because like I said earlier, I think Spain is underrated. He's better than people give him credit for. And if it's a 1-year deal, maybe 1 year from now, we're looking at it, maybe Carmen's ready to be the starter at left guard. Maybe he's been mentored by Spain and some of these other guys, and he's been ready. He's been great in practice. He's going to call out to be the starting left guard. But to me, in my opinion, I kind of think it would be smart to stay with Quentin Spain. He was the best offensive lineman this past season, in my opinion. And I don't think you want to get rid of him if you're – I don't think you should get rid of him if you don't have to. You should always try to make your team the best it could possibly be. And we're talking about left guard. I think Quentin Spain would be much better right now than Jackson Carman at left guard.
Yeah, there's a lot of possibilities right now, and I agree with you. I don't know if Carmen's quite ready for that yet. What he has in his favor is he's so strong, and that's going to be valuable for him down the road. But he's not picking up stunts the way he should be. There's you saw there was a lot of issues with him. He was part of that porous offensive line last year, and it's just hard to say. You revamped your whole line, but you're going to have one guy who is possibly a liability. I hope not. I hope he grows from year one. But teams are going to go after that. And there's a lot of good defensive tackles in our division and in this league. And they can easily target a guy like that and still make life miserable for Burrow. If you have a running back chipping and you give him help with the center, all that aside, it's hard to protect. The theory is you can protect one bad offensive lineman, but in reality, the dam's going to break on that. So going back to Quentin Spain, I do agree with you on him. And I felt he was our best offensive lineman last year, and I felt he was our best offensive lineman the year before. So I think he warrants a shot. He wants to come back. He's going to come in at a low price. So that's someone that you want to consider for this. I saw a couple, you forget about all the individual plays when the season goes by, but they were showing a replay of a game against the Ravens and Calais Campbell. And it was the first play of the game, and Campbell just buries Spain, puts him on his back on the first play of the game. Burrow somehow Houdini's out of it and throws for a first down on the play. I don't know if you or anybody remembers that. I just happened to see it recently. But I'm reminded of certain things like that. I don't want to see anything like that happen with our offensive line at any point. So even though Spain has played well for us, the jury's kind of out on him as well. Spain, Jackson, they don't seem like the permanent fix right there. I'm hoping that Spain plays like he did, and I'm hoping that Carman gets better, and those are possibilities. But I'm thinking that maybe the draft is someplace to get that left guard. There's a lot of possibilities here. I don't want to just say we got these three free agent offensive linemen and the line is done. I think that you need to still attack that in the draft high, and maybe you get lucky and get one of those marquee guards. And that's a guy that you can plug in. Because remember, Carmen's coming off back surgery. He was coming off that coming out of college. He was a left tackle. They moved him to right guard. It just has so many question marks around it that I wouldn't mind saying, maybe this pick didn't work out. Maybe he is just going to be a backup for us, and let's try again. They have that luxury in this draft. It's not like they have to fill a whole bunch of positions. You can target maybe left guard, tight end, and some other and best player available, but there's a lot of options. Plus, all the guys that played last year are going to be hungry to try to get a starting spot there. I don't know if any of them really warrant a starting spot, but either way, I think maybe our left guard comes from the draft. I'm not opposed to bringing Spain back, despite that play against Campbell and despite the last play of the Super Bowl, which we know he was the one who got beat when Chase is streaking down the sideline to almost make history for us. And the last thing I want to say on this is, it's not just about 5 linemen. You need 6. You need 7, really. But if you go into the season with 5 starting linemen, there's a very good chance that one of those guys is not going to play all the games or go on IR. You have to be prepared for that. If you go in with 4 good guys, you're in real trouble. You go in with 5 good guys, you're one injury away from, having Isaiah Prince at right tackle now, and we're back in the same boat. And it's no disrespect to Isaiah Prince, You know, he was thrown into the mix. He was a little bit over his head. He didn't expect to be in that position. I can go off on the line and on the backups and that whole mentality. But the reality is we're not done with the offensive line. I say grab 2 in the draft, someone to fight at left guard and someone to back everybody up. And maybe that's Jackson Carman, or maybe that's someone else that's not here just yet.
And, you know, when I look at Spain, it's just, I don't know. I'm not sold on Carmen. He's had his moments. He's shown potential, but other times he just doesn't look that great. But obviously, you know, what do you really expect from a guy who's coming, you know, a rookie, you know, who's coming off of back surgery. But you don't really want to have that, you know, outlier on your offensive line. You don't want to have Williams and these 3 guys who are really good, and then you have that left guard and Carmen. And I think Carmen can be good, but I just feel like I think it's too risky to have Carmen start, especially like you said. Spain's been our best offensive lineman this past 2 years, and to let him go for a rookie who's still a major question mark, I think is extremely risky. You also mentioned, you know, in the draft. I'm not going to lie. I'm very hesitant for the Bengals to draft the offensive lineman early. When you look throughout the years, I know this, you know, thinking or philosophy might be kind of dumb because in that case you would never draft one. But if I'm the Bengals, I'm very hesitant to draft offensive line because look at how many offensive linemen we've had that we just have not been able to develop this past decade. I know Boyke and Jake Fisher have been years and years ago, but when you look at those guys were complete busts and did not amount to nearly as big as the expectations we thought they were going to be. Billy Price never lived up to the hype. You know, Jackson Carman, I mean, he's only played a year, but I don't know. It's still a major question mark on him. And I know some people can say, well, we drafted Whitworth. That was like 15, 17 years ago. We drafted Zeitler and Bowling. Those were 10 plus years ago. When you go down the list, the last time the Bengals have drafted the good offensive lineman, you're looking at like 9, 10 years ago. And that's like when Dalton was like a rookie, Green was a rookie. I know that kind of, I can understand why people say it doesn't make sense because in that case you would never draft one then. But I don't know. Frank Pollock is a much better offensive line coach than some we've had in recent years. Much better than Turner, obviously, and he's definitely capable of getting the best out of your offensive lineman. But I'm still kind of hesitant to drafting an offensive lineman early. I have no issue drafting one maybe like the 3rd, 4th, or 5th round. But the 1st round, I'm kind of more so best player available. If that is an offensive lineman, I would be much more maybe towards that. But I'm not really for drafting an offensive lineman in the 1st round unless it's dead set. That's clearly the best player available type of deal. But I feel like Spain would probably be the best option at left guard in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, the jury's out. Any rookie that comes in, you don't know what you're going to get with them, and we haven't had a great track history of developing rookies. And I was having a conversation. I don't know if it was with you, but it was with someone recently that, you know, when you have like wide receivers and running backs, those guys can come into the league right away. They have fresh legs, you know, all the speed in the world and really contribute right away. When you get in the trenches, sometimes it takes guys a little bit longer for their bodies to mature and to be in there and fighting and get stronger. And so, yeah, you know what? I'm going to agree with you. It's hard to just plug in a rookie offensive lineman and expect him to be a stopgap. And for that reason, you know what? Let's go with best player available in the draft because you can't go wrong doing that, regardless of position.